Megan, it's Bethany Finch with American Made Home Solutions. Can I ask you a question? Okay, this is going to be interactive. You have to respond. This is not one of those webinars where you just sit and listen and gain knowledge and all that wonderful stuff. This is going to be an interactive conversation. So if the answer is yes, type yes down below. In the comments, reply, whichever it is that falls upon there. The question I want to ask you is, can we be real? Can we be honest for a moment? So many times there's things in life that it just feels like there's so much dishonesty, and I just want to take a moment to be real and be honest. So if the answer is yes, once again, type yes down below. Now the good part about this is when I'm asking you questions and I ask you to respond down below, no one else is going to know what you're answering to unless they watch the video. So it's perfect. There's almost like complete anonymity, so to speak. So one of the things, have you ever read a book and they describe everything with such detail so that you can create a picture in your mind of what that character looks like, what their personality is? It draws you in. A good author does a great job of that. Many times when we encounter people in our lives, I think we've become so fast-paced in our society, we've forgotten the skill and art of recognizing people and truly seeing people for who they are. So today, we're going to talk about the power of relationships. Do you ever feel lost? All right, be honest. Now's your chance. Type yes below, or you can say no. Some people may have gone through their entire life and never felt lost, and that's okay. Those of us that are honest with ourselves, we have had moments. It may not have been that we were lost trying to go to grandma's house. It may have been simply that we were lost, maybe when we had gone off trail when we were hiking, not naming any names here. Or it could have been when we were in a new neighborhood and we were following directions to a friend's house. It could have been a scenario where you just felt lost and didn't know why you were here on this planet and what you're doing and where you're going with your life. It can be very metaphorical or it can be very realistic. When we have those moments of loss, we have to stop and ask ourselves, what are the things that center us or bring focus back to our lives or redirect us so that we know what direction we are going? Many times we don't realize that's the power of relationships. See, relationships have power to build and power to destroy, power to strengthen and encourage and support, or power to tear down and demean and control. And when we don't recognize the power that they have, we kind of get tossed to and fro and we can become very, very lost. So this Wednesday, I want to talk to you about that power in those relationships. So when you stop and you think about those things and you think about your relationships, are your relationships building you up or tearing you down? Now, these could be relationships not just in your family. This could be not just loved ones. This could be, in your relationship as far as like a significant other. This could be your work relationships. This could be your team. This could be a business relationship. This could be a neighbor. Relationships is very, very vague, okay? So when you stop and you take a moment to look at every single one of those relationships, do you recognize? Stop for a moment. Think about one relationship, not all your relationships, just one. Maybe the most meaningful relationship. Just pick one. Now recognize and ask yourself, are they building you up or tearing you down? Are they a means of support and guidance and focus? Or are they holding you back with fear and control and manipulation? Asking yourselves those hard questions. I'm not going to ask you to put that in your comment box, but asking yourselves those hard questions really determines if it's a healthy relationship and a good relationship or if it's not. I want you to be able to harness the power of relationships. But to do this, we have to be honest with ourselves. We have to recognize that relationships have value. It can be positive or it can be negative. It can be good or bad, right? But unless we only want good in our lives, we have to be willing to do away with the bad. We have to be willing to purge or even recognize. Many times we go through lives just like those authors when they're describing a person. Oh, his eyes, they locked as they looked across the room, and the twinkle in his eye told her he was full of mischief, right? She's describing a person, a personality. She's being very descriptive. She's taking the time to paint that picture. If we don't take the time to look at our relationships, and if they're good value in our lives or bad value in our lives, then we never truly get the opportunity to harness. We've had the blessing of having so many wonderful relationships that have come about in our lives, not just in the business world, but in the personal world. Here's just some of them. Now, before you go getting all PC on me, yes, that picture of Jesus was not politically correct or anything of that nature. But what it was it got you to get the idea. Our relationship with Christ has truly transformed us as individuals. It has brought good value to our lives. So I couldn't discount that relationship, even though in your mind, he may not be a physical person, things of that nature anymore. So again, just disregard that picture in the sense of it may not being politically correct. That's still a good concept that you want to get across, that you knew that relationship was important to us. But some of these relationships come and go in seasons in our lives. To everything, there is a season. And in that season, sometimes it's a very short season for just a few moments. Other times it's a very long season. Days, weeks, months, even years. I have some friendships that have endured the test of time. We've been separated by thousands of miles, and yet we can still pick up the phone or pick up an email, and it's as though we've never missed a beat. Our relationship is still intact because we understand our relationship. We understand our value to the other person, and we understand what we bring to the other person and the value in that. And so recognizing the power of our relationships is what empowers us, what strengthens us, what gives us fuel, what's driving and pushing us to recognize the value in our own lives and what we're trying to do, but also the value in others' lives. Why are we here? What are we here to do? Is it just to sit on the couch and eat chips and watch movies and just exist? Or is there more to it? I would challenge you this day that there is definitely more to it. If you think there's more to it and it's not just eat potato chips and sit on the couch and consume large amounts of TV, type yes down below. You can say no. I agree. You can say no. It's your opinion and you're welcome to it. And this is an opportunity for you to give it. So I want you to feel confident that you can do so. I would like to challenge you though, this Win Wednesday, look at your relationships. Don't look at all of them at once. Look at one, each one as an individual. Are they bringing good into your life and value, or are they bringing negative and draining and pulling you down and things of that nature? If the answer is negative, I would encourage you to maybe seek a different outlet. Maybe consider not spending as much time in that relationship. If it's good, maybe consider spending more time looking at your own scenario and the value that it brings. The other thing I would encourage is send a thank you note. In this day and age, we don't say thank you enough to the people that have impacted our lives. Yeah, we think about it after they're dead, but who cares when you're dead that someone was thankful? You don't get to hear it. Tell them now. I know teachers who have made a huge impact in my life. Someone who said a kind word to me on a day that I was having just a horrible, tremendous day, and they were kind enough to just stop and say, "Are you okay?" Simple things like that, simple acts of kindness, when given at the right moment, can be powerful. So we want to say thank you, and we want to recognize that this day. Let me challenge you this day. We're going to pay it forward in our relationships, that we might empower one another through these relationships, and in doing so, all of us will be stronger and better for it. And I can't wait to hear what it is you're going to do, or what it is that you do. Sometimes recognizing and saying thanks can be the most empowering thing of all, because that other person may have needed it more than you know. And you don't know how it can boost their spirits. So take the time, say thank you to those important people in your lives, but also recognizing if there's no value in there, maybe considering spending a little less time, that your value might be continued to grow and explode and be very empowered and impactful is probably a better word, in society, that we would all be incredibly grateful that you're here on this planet and that we're all a part of it. I hope you have a fantastic Win Wednesday, and we will talk to you next time. Don't forget to make your comments down below. I want to hear if you found out when you said thank you, how much it made a difference to somebody else. That encouraged me more than you know, and it also encourages them. So be thankful and grateful. Have a fantastic day, and we'll see you next time.